Ladies and gentlemen of the Apex and Apex Legends podcast enjoyers, coming at you, you got the ragtag duo, the boys that could, the ones who stand in when that boy Wyatt is unfortunately not able to make it. And you are here today with none other than young Finichi, Finicky the first, and yours
Enoch.
truly, Enoch. And we are here as a duo. We are going to rock it. We are going to make it work. And we are a little short-staffed, but when your boy's car breaks down, and you push on. I'm sure Wyatt's deciding that today is going to be a good day. I reminded him of that.
Yeah, he said that in our group chat today.
Yeah, I did remind him. Don't worry, guys. He knows. He knows that he still has the opportunity for today to be a good day. And so do we, because I'm not going to lie. When I found out that we had to just do the podcast as just me and Finn, I was like, so like, we're going to be able to record the other parts like tomorrow, right? But no, we're just doing the whole thing, just me and the boy. And right so now. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes pretty well. I think we've started off strong. And yeah, Finn, how's your week?
Nice. Yeah, I think I was like, dude, what does Wyatt even say at the beginning of the podcast? Because, I mean, I think everybody that listens to the show regularly knows how much of a glue guy Wyatt is. I mean, he's our glue guy. He's our Elmer's, straight up. Or he's the Gorilla Glue. Either or, whatever you want to say, Wyatt is the guy. So we mention every single time me and E have to do an interview with somebody and Wyatt's not able to be there. We just constantly realize how great Wyatt is at his job. And so, yes, even though he has trouble, this podcast goes out to Wyatt. And so we're excited to, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervy like to do this as a duo, but I think in some aspects it'll be funny. In some aspects, everybody's going to be like, oh, wow, okay, this is how much you'll be able to see how much Wyatt, does for the squad. But my week,
he's a legend and a beauty. Yeah,
absolutely. My week was good. So last time we talked, I did say that I was going to get Pred, and I did not get Pred. I would have, but my Sunday ended up being filled up. I would have probably had definitely enough time to be able to reach the time allotted, but I unfortunately was not able to. And now, since dude, it's hard. I respect all the people that have like a 9 to 5 that are able to still be in Pred, which I don't know how they're able to do it.
It's very admirable. And I'm going to be honest, when I think about it, if you are getting to Pred and you aren't streaming and you aren't making content, like, why are you doing that to yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't get it.
Well, I also thought, okay, if you're a full-time like employee and you using like majority of your off time to play the game, I just think, I mean, that's not a bad thing at all. I'm just saying, I don't know what the other aspects in your life look like. You know what I'm saying? Because the only people that in my head that logically make sense to be in Pred is like either unemployed individuals or people that play video game. Like, I'm not discriminating. I'm not like, if you're unemployed and you're in Pred, good for you, 100%. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm more saying that this is a very time-consuming season to be in Pred. So it came down to like, you're either unemployed, you're like a student, you just got done with high school or something like that, or you do content full time. And that was just like my thoughts of like what the majority of people in that funnel of 750 people at the current moment are. But once again, hats off to the people that are doing that with a normal, 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job. Like, I think that's very respectable. I also don't know how they're doing that. They must be very good and very efficient with their time to be able to do that. Yeah, that is
top
insane.
fives is what that's looking like. Consistent top fives.
So I didn't accomplish that goal, which is a-okay. I still got to 50K, which is pretty respectable for me.
And you had a fire rank sesh on Thursday.
Yeah, I did. I got to give shouts out to Enoch. Had a great session with him, who was hard carrying, by the way. E, you were hard carrying, and then we had Mandy, who actually Mandy was also hard carrying.
Bro, yeah. I was feeling absolutely disgusting at the start, and I was really just not showing up quite the same player towards the end of that rank sesh.
But dude, I'm not gonna lie, that Mandy guy, dude, like
he's diff. Nah,
he's pretty
different.
good. Yeah, he's pretty good at the game, you could say. Definitely putting me in the backpack. Let's see, a little downsides. Georgia has been biting a lot. She bit my hand, she bit my nose, she bit my neck. So she's in a little biting phase. We're gonna get through it, but yeah, that's been my week. What about you, E?
I'm doing well. It's been a week of like doing different stuff, learning different things, and just on the grind, consistent, steady. I'm really trying to get back into really focusing on my inputs and just simply like doing things for like hopping on and streaming and doing my best to have like the absolute best time on stream for myself and for others, not for anything else other than the fact that I should just do my best at it and to really just focus on the things that I'm doing and having control over instead of the external things, which I find myself like trying to like, it's so easy to get caught up in how the numbers are doing, how like in all of the different senses of like all of the different numbers, and then just not caring about them and letting like and showing up the way that I want to show up regardless of what's going on. And you know, I'm getting practice, I'm learning, I'm getting better, and it's going well. I know that I'm building, and it's not going to be a perfect like swoop to the top, and that we're going to be learning and growing, but like I know I'm going to be there. And so as long as I know for certain that I'm going to be there and I'm patient, I can have the perspective that I'm just going to be able to go through and enjoy the process of watching it happen. And so I'm going to try to do I'm not going to try. I'm just going to do my best to do that each and every day instead of letting any amount of like worry or anything come into place. Because like that's just negative emotional experiences for nothing. Like you just choose to experience it when you could not. And so I'm going to work on not. And then hopefully other people can do that. Because I think that'd be pretty cool.
I respect that. I think that, well, dude, that's just like that is just like a thing that just takes time to get good. Like, I think that takes time to get good at, because it's not a natural habit. Like, it's not a natural habit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's natural to be able to do that. But if you can snap into that, then if you can lock into that, dude, you're locked.
Dude, I fully intend that like I'm that guy, you know? Like I have it in me. I am that guy. I just need to get there.
Dude, who's the guy that plays for the Heat right now that has been like,
I do not pay.
I know.
Any
wait,
amount of
yeah, my bad. You actually might be the worst. Yeah, Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler.
Absolute, just bottom of the totem pole of the people you should ask that question to.
You're the Jimmy Butler right now of the Apex mentality. So and life mentality.
Yeah, I'm like actually legitimately thinking about switching to M&K.
I
just
think
because like I know that like I could become like ACU level good at M&K. There's no shot I couldn't. Like there's actually just no reason I couldn't become like ACU type beat type deal level skill.
If you think about what Cal did, right? Calamity,
Mhm.
I was gonna say RIP, but like he's not dead. He just doesn't play Apex
He's just
anymore.
doing other things than
Yeah.
Apex Legends.
But
Shout out for him, because like, dude, yeah, can we just have like a shout out Calamity moment before you get into this?
Yeah,
Because I think we should have a shout out Cal moment, because
Cal
that
is
dude was an absolute legend. I personally, like, back in the day, I thought he was #1 controller player.
wow.
I thought
Back
he
in
was
the day,
just
like on console. Are you saying console or what?
when he was like the third person playing on PC.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was early on, like with Cujo and then like all that, like
Yeah, because
everything.
I just remember it was like, in terms of like people who played controller on PC, the only people that like at the beginning is like Metro comes to mind, Caution comes to mind, Wig, Snipe Down are like the big ones. Like those were the most two well known. But then like Cal, I like was one of the only few that I knew about, and that dude, he was just diffy with it. Like he played 6-4 linear. That's what I used to play on, like when I was a pub star.
That is crazy. He was on the
And
linear
he
gang
was
before everybody else.
Yeah, no, he put me on. I genuinely think that I could be the first 4-3 linear player. And I got receipts. Like I'm pretty
Bro,
sure I
that
can go
is-
back to like some ancient like settings vid.
That's 2020, dude. That's pretty early on linear
then-
gang.
Yeah, like, well, Cal put me on to linear, and I was playing 6-4, and then I was doing that for a really long time. And then when I was playing ranked and like doing the pred grind, I swapped down to 4-3, and I thought I was cheating. I was like, oh my gosh, like going
That's
from
how
6-4
everybody
to
feels now.
4-3 is nuts. It is nuts going from
It is.
6-4 to 4-3.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so-
it's just much more sturdy, like much more consistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
Yeah,
you were gonna
that's fair.
say, or no? No, you weren't gonna say that, were you? What were you gonna say? Were
No,
you gonna
that
say
works.
consistent? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, like it just like it's just so, because like I would say that Apex Legends is a game where your ability to one clip somebody is so big, and like the difference that being able to hit one or two more bullets in a mag makes so much bigger of a difference in Apex Legends than any other game I've played before. And that ability to just not miss at all on, like, dude, like my hip fire on 4-3 linear, like I'm smoking anybody who tries challenge me. And then just like the 80, like it's just everything about it is so clean. But this isn't about me. This is about Cal. And that dude, like he was so insane. One of the best. Like he was like probably like one of, if not the biggest inspirations for my play style. Like I watched a lot of, I would say that I got like how I play from watching like Johnny and Cal were probably like the two people that I used to watch the most. And
Not even me, dude. That's crazy.
Bro, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean,
You
I was
were a
old,
YouTube
dude.
grinder.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You were a YouTube grinder, and then you stayed on PS4, Fen.
I did for a little. I played on.
You
so I
stayed on
switched.
PS4.
Yo, I stayed on PS4 for a little bit longer than most people because I did make a switch
You
and wanted to do
switched
competitive.
and then went back.
Yeah, and then I went back, and then I
remember,
eventually switched back.
I know. I remember coming, and I was like, bro, I don't know how you play with your eyes like that. Because the few times I would go back to console, dude, it would just hurt. Like that was a pain.
I now totally agree with you. Okay, so for those that don't know who Calamity is, Cal is currently the 10th. This guy hasn't touched the game in 2.5 years.
Yeah, has not touched the game at all.
He
like
is
years.
number 10 Wraith kills on PC. And he was number like 15 on PS4 or number 10 on PS4. And then he switched over to PC. He has 106 kills on Wraith, and he's number 10. And he hasn't touched the game in 2 years.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he was that guy. Yeah, he was that guy 100%. I think he was the number 1 Wraith. It was either him or a prize. Anyway, so shout out Cal.
Shout out Cal.
That was super random, but yeah.
Yeah, shout out
How
Cal.
did we get there?
Like, if you don't know about Cal, you wish you did. Because shout out Cal.
Yeah, he was a legend for sure. Anyway, okay. So first order of business, something happened over. This would have been yesterday. Yesterday would have been Monday for those that are listening. For the Oversight tournament, it was the LANimals trying out a 3-roller squad for the first time, and they got the 3-0 by the pods E, do you
They got waxed by the pods. And the best part about this whole thing, right? You got LANimals. Set the scene. LANimals. 2 MNK players, 1 controller. The 2 MNK players switched to roller because they are both convinced that MNK is ass. Well, not really, but like that controller is just the play and that they want to do that. So they pull up and they're like, we're going to trial tripods because they view them as being a bad ALGS team. And they're like, we don't have a POI. We're going to take it. We're triple roller. There's no way we lose. They pull up on them pods at Sino and they get smoked. And they not only get smoked 3-0, they got smoked 3-0 with Deeds playing on MNK because his controller was having issues. That is so funny. Like, don't get me wrong. Love Alb. Love Lou. Love Naughty. But that is so funny that they lost to Deeds on the keys. On the keys.
That's got to be
Deeds.
that's like more of a demoralizer, really. Like that's like what would make me just not. I would be like, okay, we're 100% switching back. Is if they just lost to like regular tripods, like Deeds on roller, it'd be like, okay, we could come back from it. But Deeds was actually on MNK, which is hilarious, and they still got 3-0'd. I will not lie to you. And I said, oh, well, I don't know if I said it in the interview with Frexs that we had coming up. But I mean, Alb looked lost. And I love Alb. We've had him on the show. Amazing individual. But I will say it looked like he was lost in that contest. And I don't know what their strategy was going into it. I don't know what their thought process was going into it. I can't speak on that. But I do know that they did. Well, I guess the only thing that I know that they talked about was how they thought that it was going to be kind of easy clap, easy work on this tripods team. And it ended up not. But anyway, Alb announced today, that would be Tuesday, that they were going to be switching back. He was going to be switching back to MNK. And I don't think they did. I don't know. But from the last that I saw, they did not do well, even in the tier 2 lobby from Oversight. That being said, I don't know if they did well in the last 2 games, but leading up to that, they were not looking great. So something to keep an eye on, as we had mentioned last week, it was to watch this team and see what happens. And it was like an over-under on if they were going to switch. And I would, for those that put their money on the under, congratulations, you won your money. That Alb switched back before LCQ, which I thought was going to happen after LCQ. But we'll see. I think Lou is disgusting on roller. I'll be honest. I watched a little bit of him, and I was like, okay, this guy looks like he is like a natural on roller. But
yeah,
anyway.
Lou's gross. Lou's crazy.
He is. So, but yeah, Oversight. I think the top 3 teams were Xset, TSM, and DZ. Dare I say? I think it was DZ. Could be wrong. It's the consistent. It's the top teams that were there. Also, I think Tripods got top 5, which is dang. Also, no, Furia was up there too. So a lot of the more notable teams were up there. I guess you could say the not notable team was Tripods, and they actually did pretty well. I saw them win a game at 2v3, and I was, granted, they had a better positioning, but still, winning a 2v3 in a pro lobby, which was good. Granted, the people they were going against was not a pro team, and Hal even said it was a mid-off, which just disrespectful at that point. Come on, man. Like, you gotta show them some love, dude. Don't say it's a mid-off. Oh,
yeah, that's so cold.
Fun. Dude, it kind of is cold, bro.
That's cold.
Yo, it is.
That is cold.
As of right now, through Tuesday, those are the notable, I guess, storylines. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. I think on Thursday is whenever they will play the first week of like the actual tournament for points, I believe, for Oversight, unless they change up the format, which we'll have to see. I will say I'm not completely caught up on it. I probably will be by the time that this airs, Which, speaking of that, we don't know if this episode will be coming out Thursday or Friday due to the changes with Wyatt. Wyatt's obviously our editor for the audio portion. And so you'll hear this whenever you hear it. So this could be a Thursday or a Friday to you. But that's just a little heads up. And yeah, we go with it. We fly. We rock with the punches. You know what I'm saying? So, I think we hit a few questions beforehand before we go into the interview, and then after we'll hit a few more questions and go to the heart to heart. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm. I'm down.
All right. Well, let's see. So the first question is going to be from a Twitter, and it is at Seeing It Covered It. Shout out Seeing It. The question is, I've seen the new rank system being painted in the completely different light from Twitter to Facebook Apex groups. There are more casuals in the Facebook groups, but collectively they are really enjoying it, even while playing bronze or silver. But Twitter paints an opposite story. Do you think Apex keeps the rank changes to accommodate the masses that are enjoying the changes, or do you think that they will make more changes to the small group of pros? What would you say?
That they're going to keep catering to casuals?
Well, it's more so how it is painted. Like on Twitter, it definitely is doom or gloom. Like it definitely seems like doom or gloom. But what Seen It saying is on Facebook, where there is probably more casual, 100% more casuals. They are enjoying the rank system.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I actually talked about this a little bit, and with the rank system, like I understand that it's like not nearly as competitive, and it's not what it could be. But if we're in a place where like gaming is in the state of it's in, where it's like kind of on like a decline, right? A little bit like on a macro level, I would say. If you can have a way to like keep the game fun and entertaining and interactive for the majority of your player base, it is 100% right play to do. And like, yes, does that mean that like my ranked lobbies aren't as good of quality as they could be? Sure. But like, who cares? Like, you got to do what you got to do for the majority of the player base. And so I definitely would love to see something done in order to like make it so that like, okay, once you hit like a certain level, that then the ranked system changes. But even then, if that doesn't happen, because I mean, I'm sure part of the appeal, right, is that you have all of these players who are like, guys, you got to hop on Apex. It's never been easier to hit Masters. And then so you got all of these people who are going to be hopping on and playing Apex and like playing ranked and like getting Masters, because like anybody can get Masters right now. Dude, low-key, I was thinking about it. I might like, I'm going and I'm spending a few days in Florida next week before my mom's wedding. And I was going to do a walking to Masters challenge and like walk on a tread desk the whole time while I'm playing. And then have that be a challenge. Or I might, I've also thought about literally coaching my mom to Masters and literally talking through and like helping my mom get to Masters and Apex Legends.
Does she have any?
Dude, I mean, she's
never touched a video game or what?
She hopped into the range when she came and visited me when I was still at my other place like a while back. Bro, horrible. Like I love my mother. Awful Apex player.
Well, I don't.
Like
I
I'm talking like
if
I'm talking like if I turned the bots on in the firing range at like a high enough level, they'd kill her. They'd smoke her shit.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well,
run her pockets.
It would be interesting. I mean, I think you could coach her. I don't know if you could get her to Masters. It's literally
just putting her in. It's just like, okay, you're gonna want to drop late by yourself. Okay, zone. We're gonna go hide.
Yeah, but does she have enough time to be able to do that? I guess is another thing too.
And the question is like, I would give it
it's a time
24
thing.
hours, and there's probably she doesn't. I mean, she probably could, but like in a time frame like that, I don't think.
I think this would be a great time for you to practice your M&K. if you are going to do it?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because I don't have the peripherals in place.
As in, you don't have like the right equipment.
I need
that
to
you
get
want?
a nice mouse. I don't even have a mouse pad.
Okay.
I don't have a mouse pad. I'm currently using my iBuyPower mouse, and with my ONN keyboard that I bought from Walmart when mine died.
I think that would be an interesting challenge for sure, but
I think I'm going to do the M&K swap once I like have everything set up and I'm like settled.
Yeah,
like I have a mouse pad. I have it. Like I get all that stuff set up, and then I like take a little bit to prepare for my journey to best M&K player. Because I mean, like, because if I'm gonna be fair and like real with it, like I like for a while, whenever somebody would ask me, like, why do you play controller? And it's like, okay, I've been playing on controller my entire life. And for like, there was like a good time, like for like a fairly sturdy amount of time where I also would have said like, and because I think I'm like one of the best controller players in the world, and I definitely still think I'm one of the best controller players in the world. It went from like, I'm 100% top 10, no doubt, to then like, okay, we're in top 20. To at this point, there's just so many just controller players who are just like nasty at it, right? Like there's just so many that like mechanically speaking, I think I'm still like right up there with absolutely anybody. But making the switch to M&K would just be a really great challenge of like, oh, like I can prove to everybody that I like can be the best even on this input, which everybody's switching off of. And I can still like roll you on the inferior input, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a certain amount of challenge, but that's also a risk, right? Because like, there's like, if I suck for a while, people might stop watching.
Well,
but that's not going to happen because
I get
like, clean quick.
M&K is way more. M&K is way more like appealing, I think, for a lot of people to watch. Like it's much more entertaining to watch somebody play M&K because I do get the idea of roller being boring because it's just like roll up one clip, whereas M&K is like tap strafe one clip, or dude, like what Mandy was able to do whenever we were playing.
Dude, I mean,
bro.
it's just like wow. Like when you watch a player like Mandy, you're just like, why does anybody not play on M&K?
Right,
like,
and okay, broken. And so I've had a lot of discussions with this, and it goes back to the aim assist debate. But it's like, man, is it a skill issue if people can't do like what Mandy's doing? Like, Mandy is that one-off, I guess you could say, M&K player, or like, you know, the top M&K players make the regular M&K players look silly, right? Like, and so I feel like, okay, what's stopping M&K players from getting to that point, like that mechanical point? But I don't know. I feel like that we could have a discussion another time. But I think
for sure,
I do think what people like what Mandy's doing is super entertaining. That I would love to watch him because he's just so gross at the game that I'm willing to watch, right? Because he's able to tap strafe, or he's able to like stay on top of a redeploy balloon while two teams are fighting for end game, and then he just wins the game. Like it's just stuff that is insane. Anyway, I think we could have a discussion another time, but I do think you could get good enough and be entertaining enough on M&K that people would 100% watch.
Because it could be a thing where I just like, because I do think there's a decent amount of potential that if I have like day 50 on M&K and I'm just going nuts, right? Like I just like, because like if I spent like 10 hours a day dedicated to becoming like an insane M&K player, and like I feel like I have all the resources and everything around me to just set me up to be like nasty at it, that the amount of like how quickly I could progress, I think could like blow me up. Yeah. And especially like on M&K, like going from like being like good on like nasty on controller to then just being like, oh, I'm just going to show up and be one of the best M&K players. by just showing up, working 10 hours a day, like hustling, like doing all that. Like
I low-key
it
think
could be big.
No, yeah, I agree. I think one of the best things, and it's such a now an asset. I think the firing range is going to be your best friend, like one of your best friends, low key. Just
True.
because, I mean, think about you can like start one like the 1v1 thing. You can start 1v1ing roller players. You might as well start get used to aim assist, like going against it, all that sort of stuff. I just think that'll progress you a lot faster, as well as like playing Control all the time or playing mixtape.
Yeah, dude,
Like I think
mixtape
that's
and everything,
great.
just reps on reps on reps. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I got so much. Like it could be like the perfect time to swap. Because I mean, I think generally speaking, Apex Legends, there's no better time to like get better and develop as a player.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
You have so many options available to you.
Okay. Once again, thank you, Seeing It, for the question.
Yeah, sorry, I sidetracked that thing and
You're
took it in
good.
a different like
You're
8
good.
different
You're
directions.
good.
I think.
Let's hit one before the break or before we send it over to the interview. Let's do. This is on Reddit, and this is cicada_1 says, "Who is the GOAT of esports?" A couple ways to look at this question. Maybe break it down by game or just what player has been the most dominant. Dang. How up to date is your esports knowledge of knowing who the
Esports as
GOAT
a
is?
whole,
Yeah.
I don't have like an extensive esports knowledge, but if I was gonna like, we're talking like best player.
Like the GOAT of esports, like esports specific.
I feel like Scump has to be one of those names, right?
Yeah, okay. I don't know if you could.
I don't know
like,
much about
no,
COD
no,
though.
no.
I just know that he's
No,
that guy.
I don't think
he's
no,
that
no.
guy of COD though.
I love
right?
Scump, and I think for those that listen and know COD, they know that Scump's a great player. Definitely, probably top 4, but he's not the GOAT of COD esports. It'd be between Crim6 or Karma, and I think that would be in the discussion of GOAT topic for sure. But it'd be between those two. I think you could argue Formal because of what he's doing in Halo alongside of his Apex career, or excuse me, Apex Call of Duty career. My first thought was Faker from League of Legends, and then my second thought was Simple from CS:GO, and then from there it just pretty much goes into console esports because that's what I grew up in, and so I would say, I think up there would have to be Ogre 2 from Halo.
You just say Formal.
I said Formal is up there because of like what he's done in other FPSs.
Yeah, I mean you definitely got to throw. I mean, just the multi esport crossover dominance is definitely pretty nutty. So you definitely got a Formal. Yeah, I agree with that Formal pick for sure.
Yeah, Formal's up there. I mean, seriously,
Isn't it Faker
though,
like the best League of Legends player like ever?
he's known for like being one of the best, and he's
I
been
used to play
around for
League
a
back
really
in the
long
day,
time.
but I was never like that.
I think Faker's up there. I like Gumiyushi. I think that's a sick name. So he's up there for me. But granted, they just lost in the MSI tournament, so is he the GOAT? I don't really know, but that's like. And then Simple, I just know he has the best op in CS:GO history, or is up there and is just always led his team very, very well in that regard. And then I was gonna say Ogre too because he has the most LAN wins as a console esport, which is insane to think about actually. And then I would say Damon Karma, Barlow, or Ian Crim6 Porter for GOAT of Call of Duty. I know Scump's a great like up there though, but just not quite. I'm sorry. And then so yeah, that's very limited. My knowledge of like Rocket League stuff, I'm trying to think of people that play. I was gonna say Justin, but I don't know if that's if he still plays or if he's even any good right now. So sorry to all the people that know a lot of esports and we didn't quite hit all of that, but that would be my answer to that question. And then that's E's question is Scump, bro. Yeah, that's just funny. Okay. Well, we hit 2 of them, and now you guys are about to hit a commercial break. And then on the other side, we will be interviewing with Faze Frexs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the privilege and the honor of welcoming on the man who is by far definitely a staple, going to be going down as one of the GOATs for sure. That is Frexs, now part of Faze recent addition. And Frexs, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Honestly, doing pretty good. You know, just like I said, had some Subway today. Feeling good. Did bad in the tournament today, but it's okay. You know, I was trying stuff out.
Yeah. So can you give us a breakdown of like what Oversight's looking like for y'all as a team going into LAN?
And also, is that Waltzy? Is that actually Waltzy that you guys are playing with?
Yeah. So okay, so the Oversight thing kind of popped up randomly because nobody knew that it was coming up, and Phony had already planned for his anniversary, so he's gone all week, right? So we're losing our main IGL, right? So and then we just have a sub. So I'm kind of just like I'm just like IGLing just by myself. Just right now, I'm just learning the map. So I'm not really worried about where we place on anything like that. I'm just trying to learn stuff that I can help with Phony later on. Like we're playing different comps. We're just trying a bunch of stuff. And the first day it went well. I think we got 4th overall. And the lobby was just really awkward like yesterday. And then today the lobby was super awkward again. And we didn't do too hot today. But like I said, I'm not too worried about playing good or like whatever. It's Oversight, like my main focus was on LAN and like playing with my full team, and I'm just learning the new map and everything. So that's how my mindset going into Oversight.
So when you say awkward, what do you mean by that? For those who don't.
Yesterday the lobbies, like we would hit the ring beacon, like the zone beacon, like for zone 3, and there'd be 12 squads alive. Like everybody is just fighting, contesting. Everybody's trying new stuff. People are trying new players out, new comps. It's the first this is the first tournament on the new patch with evac towers and everything. So it's just a bunch of inting, and people are just fighting for their spots. So it's just it feels more like scrims than a tournament. So that's why I'm really not too worried about if we place bad or place good, because we're still playing with a sub, right? Like he's playing on 200 ping, so it's like I'm not really worried about anything, like how we place or anything, to be honest.
So what led to the Waltzy sub decision?
He's just really good friends with our coach. That's all. Our coach just said, "You want us to get someone?" I said, "Just get whoever. I don't care. I'm just playing just to play, And so he just asked Waltzy, and he said, "Yeah."
Love that.
Okay, so is your coach ZZ? Is that his
yes?
name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick.
Can you go into? We usually like to talk about it with people that have like a designated coach, since it's kind of been a hit or miss topic for a lot of teams that people are now starting to invest in coaches. And I would love to hear maybe I don't know if you have I guess on your previous teams, like for SSG, did you guys have a coach?
We trialed Serial as a coach for a while because we needed a 4th voice, because I am I don't know, we just needed a 4th voice to kind of just lead us as a team, and it was working for a while, and then I don't know, we just kind of realized that we didn't really need a coach as a team. We just didn't really need one, but
right.
I mean it worked out in the end, though, to be honest.
Do you so I guess ZZ would now, is this your first coach that you've ever had in comp?
Yes, yeah, technically, yeah. He's signed and everything.
Gotcha. So how would you say ZZ fits into y'all's role, y'all's team, as a role player, as a role coach, whatever that looks like?
I mean, he just kind of sets out plans on what we should be doing, and every time we land on a new POI, because I forgot to mention, in the tournament today, we're just landing at different POIs, because at LAN we're going to be contesting LG for launch site, and we're playing with the sub, so we're not contesting in these tournaments, and we're just trying to get playtime. So he's getting loot paths, loot routes, what we should be doing and stuff like that. So it just makes us well, we don't really have to do as much as we should, even though we still do, but he's just there to he posts in the Discord what we should be leaving, what time we should be leaving, just stuff like that. what teams are around us, you know.
Yeah, the kind of the small stuff you would say
Yeah,
that ends
yeah,
up
yeah.
making like a big deal. But yeah, okay. I just didn't know what the dynamic was because I mean we've had Hotsick on, we've had Raven on, and even those two are completely different dynamic for their squad. I just didn't know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
ZZ
yeah.
played into y'all's for this whole split. Speaking of the split, you guys did pretty dang good this split.
We did all right. We messed up a lot.
Well, yeah, yeah.
For a
That's
new team, we messed up a lot, but I mean, it happens.
that's fair. What would you say? I mean, this was a newly formed roster, and we can get into how this roster was formed. But I think first and foremost, what would you say going into this? Like, what were your expectations going into Split 2? And would you say that those were met? Because if I remember correctly, at the beginning, it was kind of a little bit of a jumbled mess, but then you guys kind of brought it together actually the first day or the first few days of Pro League, and you guys kind of showcased, wait, okay, this team's not just a really solid team on paper. This team's a legit force to be reckoned with in not just North America, but in the world. So what would you say your thoughts were going into the split to now after the split, kind of looking back on it?
Well, so when we first joined, you know, we were 3 solos. We never played with each other before. We knew like what our roles were and everything, but we didn't have a POI. So the time we were just struggling a lot at the beginning is we were trying to practice for ALGS, and we're just double contesting on every single map. So it's just like we never even got to play the game. And like I think there was a stat on ALGS, like if Phony gets to like late game, he has like a 95% chance of winning the game or something like that. Like it's insane, right? And so it's like we just never got a chance to the late game because we're always contesting, we're always fighting. Like I said, we just never got a chance to do anything. So people didn't realize how like good of a team we were, because like I said, double contesting, we have no loot half the time. We're on edge, and we're a zone team, so it's just really awkward, fighting all the time, especially as a brand new team. We have no chemistry together. It wasn't even like it was like I guess it was pretty rough at the start. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like but then like once we played ALGS, because I'm the type of person in ranked, I'm probably the worst player in the game, but when it comes to like high like comp, comp experience and everything, and like just high level gameplay, I am locked in. I am screaming. I'm just 100% focused on how to what to do, like because I play the anchor role for our team, so I'm always watching our back. I'm making sure we will never get wrapped ever if I'm watching the back. Like I'm always I tell them go fight someone. I'm never leave our spot. So like I knew that we were going to be a good team once we got a POI, which we somehow figured out some way to get. And like I think we've been flex dropping on World's Edge. We were playing Fissure and we were playing Climate, and then on Storm Point we were playing Launchpad. So we got some POIs and we started to do really well.
So with that Launchpad acquirement, you could say, can you give us the breakdown from your POV on how that went?
I don't know. TSM just left, and then we just called it, and then no one chowed it. I don't know. I don't know. That's it basically. TSM left, and EA wanted to stay wall. So
would you say it would have to do with the infamous?
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Contest scrims or no?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I guess
that's a non-talker.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I mean something happened there for sure.
Sweep,
yeah.
The alleged
something
sweep
happened there for
that
sure.
We're just not going to get into.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I respect it. I respect the
All
decision.
I know is somehow we got Launchpad for free. Somehow it was a blessing in disguise. We got it for free.
All right. So one of the crazier stats that I saw recently on Twitter was I believe you are one of 6 or maybe 7 people that have been to every single LAN for Apex. And I'm not gonna lie, that's not a whole lot of people compared to how many people have played Apex competitively over the past now 4 years. So there's a few questions that I want to have based off of that. But what do you think is some of the advantages of playing Apex professionally for a long time compared to the other people maybe that just got started in the past year? What do you think you have as an advantage over them?
I mean, most of it is just experience. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you just kind of know how teams play, and like we've been playing the same map, World's Edge, and like the same thing for so long now. It's like we know how people play. Like, I know zone. Like, I could just, for a while there, I could like once we hit beacon, I knew instantly where it was going. I mean, even now you can still hit beacon and know instantly where it's going. You just have so much experience that it just, I don't know, it just helps so much playing the game for so long. You've been playing against these players for however long I've been playing. I don't even know, but you just know how people play. How like you know what to expect. You know what your team is supposed to be doing. I don't know. You just, I don't know. And then when you go to LAN, it's just completely different. Everything changes at LAN because you're playing against so many new teams. I don't know. It's fun. I love this game.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
I think if you've committed 4 years of it, I think you have, even if gone through the rough patches, whatever that looks like, but you've stuck through it and you've been to every single LAN, and that's just like a really crazy stat, to be honest, man. Like,
that means
not
that
a
the
whole lot
rough
of people.
patches really just couldn't have been that rough.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, oh
I
no,
mean,
the
I'm gonna be honest,
the worst spot of Frexs' career when he called for land still.
The worst thing that's happened since I played Apex is snipe down, getting DCing in I think it was mid. I think it was semis. He DC'd and we didn't get to finals because of it. And I think that was the very first like LAN in Poland. I was teaming with Snipe Down and he DC'd, and they didn't. That was before they restarted the servers or anything, and we missed finals by 2 points.
wait, hold on.
That was tragic.
Where you said
Who was
you were
the third
playing
on that team?
Wait, yeah,
It was
hold on.
It was me, Grego, and Snipe Down. It was in Poland, and we were on Reciprocity.
I was gonna say, was that Reciprocity or C9?
Yeah.
But I didn't think Snipe
Yeah,
was ever in C9. So
yeah, it was Reciprocity.
gotcha. Okay,
That's the biggest downfall right there. That was just tragic.
Dude, man, that actually is crazy. So hold on, what is your favorite LAN that you have been to? Since you've been to all of them, what was your favorite one?
Probably Champs,
Okay.
because we could have won that one.
What did y'all end up getting? What was it, 4th place in that? Or
I
no?
think we got 6th
6th.
in,
Okay.
in Champs. Yeah.
Now, since you've been to a lot of them, what do you think it takes in order to win one? Like, what is your mindset going into it to be like, okay, I want to win this LAN like this time? Like, I've been here so many times, I want to win. What do you think like it takes to win a LAN? Right.
I mean, honestly, it just depends on the circle. I'm not gonna lie, because it depends on the circle on if that game is gifted to you or not. Because I mean, on both the champs, I've gotten 2nd place the very last game, so I've been pretty defeated. I'm not gonna lie. In champs, and whenever 100T won, that champs, I got 2nd the last game, and then whenever DZ won, I got 2nd that game too. So it's like I'm so close, but I just keep getting 2nd on the very last game.
So it's really just comes down to circle RNG, is what you're saying.
I mean, no, I mean, of course you have to play well, but
Right.
of course, like to win the game, it does have to come into like the very last, circle, of course.
Okay, why does Liquipedia have you as your signature champion, signature legend as Caustic?
That's foul.
Because Caustic is just the GOAT character.
Dude.
That was the character. That is my favorite character, and if I could play him, I would play him every day.
Dude, okay, hold on. Why is that? Is that just like you love how toxic
I think
it
he's
is?
low-key
Dude.
the most fun character.
No,
I
it's
do
not
think
that.
he's
It's
low-key.
just because whenever I swapped inputs, he was the character I was playing, and I felt like a raid boss when I played him.
Just like holding stuff down, throwing the ultimate down,
well,
killing like 9 people in the last zone, or what?
I felt like I was just invincible. Yeah, that was just like when I was in my demon arc, and I would just throw an ult down and just 1v3 a team in a caustic gas.
Yeah, that's right. And then, I mean, you're just shooting through smoke. These people have no clue where you're at. You just got a DT, and it's just like ruining people's lives.
Oh yeah, I just ran wingman car every single game.
Okay, I
It's a
wasn't
good
planning
time.
on.
That's
dude,
actually just a really great loadout on Caustic too.
Oh yeah.
Just pop a barrel down at whatever like place you're peeking from. If anybody walks up, pop the barrel, one clip them with the 9, and then you're just like, okay, I'm shooting the wing again.
Yeah. Wingman is so good, man. I love that gun.
do we want to get into the aim assist now, or hold on? Let's save that for after this.
All right,
I
all right.
want to get into how you got into competitive Apex, competitive gaming, because we had Hal on, and he actually mentioned you and how you guys were duo players in Fortnite. And so I would love to just get how you got into gaming. What is your background? And maybe like how you got into competitive all the way up to where we are now, fixing to go into LAN in London here in 2 months.
So yeah, I mean, well, as you know, I'm one of the older pros. You know, I'm 28, so I'm pretty old now. But back in my day, I was just working, and I saved enough money to buy a PC. Like I built my own PC and everything, and I just started playing H1Z1 at the start. That was my first like PC game. I played H1Z1 into like League of Legends and stuff, and I got pretty high rank, but I was still like a casual because I was still working and everything. And then played some Overwatch. I was pretty good at that. I honestly, if I kept playing, I probably could have gone pro in that. But I just never, I just liked BR so much, and that was when PUBG came out, and I was playing that like all day, every day. I started getting really good. Like I was just losing sleep. Basically, I was just grinding super hard. Like I would sleep at work, basically, and just play. When I got home, I would just play and play. I got really good, and then that's when I was like, oh man, I can actually like do this. So I got picked up on C9 as a team, and I just quit my job as soon as I got picked up. I quit my job and just started playing, like put like my full like effort into PUBG. Played that, went to my first LAN and I just kept playing, and then I got an opportunity to play H1Z1 again because I played it a while back, but I wasn't like I wasn't like playing it during the time, but I got an opportunity to play that, to join C9 as a like an H1 like player, like at the pro league. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean I played H1, I could if I just put some more hours into it, I'd definitely be really good. So then I joined the H1Z1 team with C9 with Hal. He was my teammate during then, and we all moved out to Vegas, and like we all lived in the team house in Vegas for like 3 months because the pro league was a LAN like in Vegas. And then so after we played that for 3 months, and then there was a break, and then I guess the pro league basically just got canceled. I don't know what happened with H1Z1, and so I didn't know what to do after that, and so I started playing Fortnite, and then Hal, me and Hal just started playing just randomly, and then we just said, oh yeah, let's become a team. So me and Hal just played for a while. We went to Twitch Rivals for Fortnite. We did pretty well. We made it to finals, so we made some money. That was like our first tournament ever playing Fortnite. We were all right. We weren't like insanely good, but we weren't bad. We were kind of just like average. And then after that tournament, we were just like, we hated Fortnite. I would never play Fortnite again. Honestly, I did not enjoy that game at all. That was probably the game that made me to rage the most ever, and I hated it. And then Apex came out randomly, just randomly one day, and me and Hal just started playing it for day one. We were just playing it like 8 hours a day, just grinding, and then we started getting into like the competitive because we were teaming back then. And then he got poached from Prodigy Aces and Tiump for TSM, and that's when he joined TSM. And then I joined C9 as their Apex team, and then we kind of just like split off into different ways, And then that's basically how I got into Apex, honestly. So I've been pro in four games, and and they've all been BR games basically. And yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. Long time gaming.
That is a lot. So that Cloud9 team, what was that? OP, you, and Grego?
Yes, yeah. It was.
Wow, that's Crazy. And PvP was on it at one point too, or
Yep.
something.
Yeah. Because I think there were supposed to be 2 C9 teams because they didn't really know what they were gonna do. So we were just kind of just all like swapping out and just see who were like the best players for the team.
Mm. Now you have been through a lot of different team comps, a lot of metas with guns and everything, different maps. What would you say is your favorite comp that you were played in? And maybe your favorite, obviously now map, you could say choose between Stormpoint, and you did play KC, but and also World's Edge.
I'm not gonna lie, I think my favorite was Watson Path Wraith. That was so much fun. I love playing Watson because I've always been a support player. In any game I ever play, I play support, and I think that's why like I'm not really like in the community. I'm not like looked up as like a fragger because I'm really not. Even though I play controller, I'm not a fragger. I'm a support. I don't go for kills. I'm always watching our back. I'm a team player. Like I tell my teammates to go get kills. I probably have the least damage on my team because I'm staring at a wall behind us. It's like I give all my meds to my teammates so they can shine and everything. So like like people don't really know how much I bring to a team. So it's just like I don't know. I've always been a support player, and I honestly I just enjoy it. And so I would say Watson Path Wraith for sure. World's Edge, love that map, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Like OG World's Edge?
Honestly, I think not the new one, but the one before this one.
So the one like East Frag. West
Yeah,
Frag.
yeah, West Frag. Yeah.
Gotcha,
Because the other one was rough. I'm not gonna lie with the train yard and everything.
Oh,
It was
dude.
and the refineries in games. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, bro! And you have to
With
go
the-
sit in
with the
those
tunnels,
donuts
the
and
to-
stuff.
Yeah, the toilet bowls, bro. Oh my gosh.
bro! I actually you just unlocked a terrible memory in my head. Thinking about the comp over
yeah.
there.
And sorting factory. Oh my gosh,
Oh
man.
my
I
gosh.
actually enjoyed
the train yard, bro.
The train-
that was the worst ones, bro.
Yeah, it always ended there too. It always ended there, right in front of that big building
Big open,
too.
yeah, big
Yep.
building. Yep, down
Yep.
at the bottom,
and
and
there'd
then-
be like 5 teams in that
Yeah.
building too. There'd be a
That's
team on
right.
roof, team on second floor, team on bottom, team on
And
the
then you
side
got-
of it. It's like
and then team like on like top
Yeah.
train carts. And
Yeah.
dude, the train carts were so obnoxious.
I know.
Remember, I'm pretty
Scouts.
sure. dude,
Yep.
before they even added zip lines, remember, like it used
Yep.
to just be you had to fly in there or
Yeah.
something. Like
No, you
Oh.
would wasn't it like you had to walk up to it and then just straight zip up to it, right?
yeah
That's what it is.
Oh dude, I actually man,
Yeah,
I
that
am
memory,
having
huh?
bad memories now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then
So not
they ended
that
up-
one, but the one after that one.
Yeah, okay.
The one after that one was for sure my favorite. Yeah, I love World's Edge. Stormpoint is just hard for me. I don't know what to do on that map. I feel so lost.
Do you think it's because of how much more time you have in World's Edge comparatively? And that's the reason why?
Well, it's just because because I've always played zone on every single team that I've played on, right? And Stormpoint, we have like a really good POI, and we played Edge, so I was not comfortable as I should, as I was on World's Edge. So that's why it kind of just like swaps off. Like I just like going to zone and just chilling, just shooting everybody walking in, just vibing.
Do you guys think that you'll? So what are you guys playing now on Stormpoint? Do you guys play zone more so, or are you guys?
Yeah,
world?
I mean, yeah, we play zone, and I mean, it just depends on where zone is, right? I guess now
Mhm.
we kind of
So
play
you guys are more
hybrid now.
flexible?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
play hybrid now, and it's pretty nice. So if zone's near us, because we always land at the car by fish farms. I always take the car and launchpad. So I hit the beacon, and if zone's close, I just drive straight to zone.
Man, that's such a support character of you. Like
I
that's such a
know.
support. Like
Yeah.
you let your
Landing on the
teammates loot
car.
up, and then you just
Yep.
grab the car. dude.
Yeah, I grab the car. I loot, the 4 pills on launchpad by the beacon.
Yeah,
I loot
yeah.
those 4 pills, and then I leave. That's all I loot. In ALGS, I'll have like I think the first game in finals, I ended the game with the blue armor with like 300 damage, and I think I had an iron sight longbow with 20 bullets and an R9 with like 40 bullets or something
It's like-
crazy.
You're really good at being patient and not using any of your ammo until the very end.
Oh
when you
yeah,
absolutely have to.
Well, because I'm so used to playing zone with no loot, so it's like if I have insane loot, I feel unstoppable. because I'm so used to just having nothing. Because like on LAN, we used to play, we played zone on SSG. So I would just leave. I would just loot 2 pills at Lava Fissure and just be gone. And I would have like a beak and like a scout with nothing on it. So I'm just so used to playing with
He's
no
in
loot.
shambles, bro.
Yeah, no, I would lead Lava Fissure with 2 cells, a scout, and a beak, and I'll be like, all right, I'm ready.
That's like a good loot sesh for you.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good that's a good
for me.
loot route. You're like, I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Oh, if I get a sight, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Dude, I think that really is a skill that a lot of people don't understand that that's a skill, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
as a casual viewer, they may see you in zone and be like, why does this dude have a scout, no attachments, like all that sort of stuff, right? And I think really what it comes down to is you being super patient and not just wasting your ammo. I do think, I mean, man, think about how awesome Evo shields are now. Like,
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like what a
I love
crazy
it, bro.
change. Like that's
got to be like top 5 change for you, no doubt.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm playing Rampart, I feel unstoppable when I pull the Sheila out because I know I have infinite ammo with that gun. I know I can shoot something.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he's like wasting ammo if
Oh
he's missing a shot, bro.
Bro. Today in the oversight, there was people pulling up evacs. I was to pull out that Sheila and just insta kill the evac every time I see an evac. It's gone in my sights. I broke like 4 balloons today.
Okay. E, do you have anything right now? I have a few, but I
wanted
like
to
I've talked too much.
No, I mean, you're chilling. But so you really got into the fact that you're a support player, and do you think part of the reason that when people look at triple controller teams and comp as a whole, people, I mean, at least from what I've seen, it's like, okay, you always need at least 1 M&K, or like 2 is like I used to think was like the ideal way to go about it. But do you think that the more so reason that is because more often than not, triple controller players, they're not going to have that guy who plays the role that you are of being that support, of being that guy who's holding it down for the back and like setting the other controller players up to have the success that they can?
No, I think it's actually I think it's not my role. I think it's Phony's role. I think it's the Seer player because most controller players cannot play Seer. And, you always want to, have your other players just go crazy. Like if you're the M&K, Seer, you just have your controller players. You just you put your hands up. All right, they're over there. Go kill them, So I think people think that controller players can't play Seer. And, thank God I have Phony on my team who only plays Seer. And he's a controller player. So it's like, we kind of just got like best of the both worlds, and he's really good, so it definitely helps.
That man plays Seer in pubs. Like
he's committed. He's committed. I think it's not my role. I think it's just playing Seer. Honestly, I think that's what it is for having at least one M&K. Because I mean, if we didn't have Phony, I think we would want an M&K player playing Seer.
And so what about Seer makes him so? Because I mean, I agree with you. I do view Seer as an M&K legend, but what about him makes him so much of an M&K legend?
I mean, you can just do so much, right? Like, I think it's just like most M&K players, whenever they put their hands up, whenever you're done with the fight, they're instantly scanning, turn around, everything. And on controller, you just can't do that, Like, especially if you play low sense, you cannot just turn around and do all that. But it's like, I don't know. If you're a controller Seer player, you just got to play differently. That's all. Like people can play him. It's just why put your controller player on there when you can have him on Horizon or Valk and just go kill people. Just be like the fraggers and stuff.
You guys are one of the few teams that are now full roller, like that have had success. If that makes sense. We actually talked about it last episode. We were trying to figure out what was the last like super successful triple roller team, and the thoughts were G2 and then the J-Links team, right? And so you guys are kind of showcasing that now as the 3 rollers players. We talked about it a little bit earlier before we got on the for the interview, but can we break down what your thoughts are on the switch? Because you were, if not the first, you were the OG of switching from M&K to roller. So how did you like have your thoughts still been the same whenever it comes to regards to aim assist? And what would you say to the people that are switching now as of maybe the past like 6 months, and maybe seeing some success, or some that aren't seeing some success?
Well, I mean, I didn't even mean to switch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was just kind of I was really bored of Apex after the champs because we got second. Like I was talking earlier, we got second to last champs, and I was just really bored because there's nothing to play, and I bought a PS5 to play Spider-Man. That's just I love that game, so I bought a PS5 to play Spider-Man, and then I was like, dang, I kind of just want to mess around in arenas with controller and just just mess around with the wingman. And so I just started playing arenas like every night, just kind of just trolling around and just playing. I was like, dang, this is actually pretty good. I mean, I might want to see if I can do it in a real game, right? So I just made like a Smurf account and just soloed my way up to masters, just playing solo ranked on controller just to see so I could feel how it was in like the real game. And then that was whenever we dropped to join us as our teammate, right? I played the first turn. We played our first oversight with him. The first 3 games I played on M&K, and I was like, man, I feel so useless right now. Like I was like, man, like if I just, because there was one fight I whiffed. I was like, man, if I was just on controller, I would have killed that guy so easily. So I swapped the next game, picked up a wingman, and we won the game by I was just doing so much damage in the fights because we were triple M&K team at the time. I was doing so much damage in the fights. I was like, okay, guys, I'm probably not gonna swap back. This is just insanely broken. Because I was just a wingman one trick. Because that was the only gun I practiced with in arenas. I would just buy wingman and just fight, constantly. I was playing so much on controller that I forgot. I literally went to the hospital because I just was just grinding so much. I was grinding so hard. And because it was
Wait, hold on, go to that. Hold on. You just said you went to the hospital?
We need to tap into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, so I was grinding so hard. I think I played for for 2 days straight, and I didn't eat anything because I was just grinding. I was I don't know what it is, but whenever I find something that's really fun, I just forget to eat and drink. I'm just so locked in that I just forget to do anything around me. So I was just grinding, and then after the 2-day grind, I literally couldn't move. I was paralyzed basically. So I just had to go to the hospital. I was dehydrated and everything. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I was grinding.
The man wants it, bro. Okay, so you switch to the roller, and you're like, wait, okay, this is very broken. And
yes.
This was when? This was
this is right after the first champs. Because we had I think we had a 3-month break or something. So I swapped at the perfect time, but I wasn't even meaning to swap. I was just kind of trolling. Even
to
before.
give people perspective, what would you say the what was the percentage of M&K players in competitive? It was absurdly high compared to what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I think every team was either 3 or 2 M&Ks for a while, and then it's other than G2 and I think LG, I think. Because LG was, I mean, they weren't LG then, but they were still competing. Because I mean, we would, my team still would have been triple M&K if I didn't swap.
Right, and so that was 2021.
Yeah,
2021 something. Yeah. So
it was just all M&K players at that time.
Yeah, it really was.
Other than G2, I think it was all M&Ks, and then Snipe Down. I think he was the only other one because Guild wasn't playing. Sykes wasn't playing.
I was thinking maybe that Ghost team with Metro.
And Metro and Panders. They were playing. Yeah. That was for sure.
That's the only people.
There wasn't that many though. It was all M&K. Yeah.
It was just completely M&K dominant.
Yep.
And
so maybe that's when I swapped. I don't know. That was during caustic meta, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel invincible because a lot of the M&K players were playing Valk for the team, and since I'm a support player, I was like, I don't like playing Valk. I'll play Caustic. Let me throw a barrel down and instantly kill someone. And it got to the point where I had to be taken off Caustic because I felt invincible, so I was throwing. So they took me off Caustic for a week, and they're like, you need to learn your place. So I was like, all right. Because I was throwing. I felt invincible.
It happens when you play on Caustic long enough. You start getting that swagger where you're just walking up to a team.
Dude, I remember a tournament. I walked out into a full team, just threw my Caustic ult and just ran in there, knocked 2, and died instantly. I was like, oh my bad, guys. Like and like we could have won the game, but I just died instantly. I just got rolled, and then they took me off of that tournament. They took me off for the rest of the tournament. They're like, play Valk. I was like, all right. I felt embarrassed. I was so sad. And then like it was like a week later, they're like, all right, just put Frexs back on the Caustic. Like we're because like we were like playing bad. And I was like, just put him back on the Caustic. I was playing on the Caustic. It was kind of playing a lot smarter, and like we were just dubbing out. We were winning a lot back then when Gibby Caustic Meadow was a thing.
Yeah, man, so many changes of that has even happened too, with like the out of bounds change and like you can't hit a bat and all that sort of stuff now. You got something?
Yeah, are you still ripping that wingman just the same, or are you a nemesis abuser?
Oh man, well, so I've been playing classic since like the beginning of time. I've never switched. I've played 4-3 the entire time. The entire time I've played on controller. This last week of Pro League of match point of the finals, I swapped to linear 4-3. That was and then I've just been on linear 4-3 ever since. And so I just don't pick a wingman ever again. It's impossible.
You don't like the wingman on linear?
Nah, I don't.
Dude, it is so. See, I swapped
so
over
hard.
to linear in like season like 4, 5, or 6. Well, definitely season 4, or even probably season 3, because that's what Calamity used to play on. And my wingman got exponentially better when I went from classic to linear. So it could just be like you've heard so many people say it that
I'm
you
a wingman one trick.
yourself into thinking that you're bad with the wingman on linear.
I don't know. I'm a wingman one trick. I pick
that
gun up every single chance I get. At LAN, every single LAN I've ever been to, I've picked up. I'm wingman car every game or wingman R9. I will use the wingman constantly. But now I'm a charge rifle enjoyer now.
Do you think?
Wait, hold on. Who is it?
I mean, I'm a charge rifle. I mean, why you run a wingman when I can just run a charge rifle? I mean,
do you think that's ping diff? Like, do you think that's the reason why at LAN you're like, I'll pick up the wingman a lot more? Are you saying?
Oh,
you know what I'm
no.
saying? Like because of ping diff, or are you just saying like comfortability?
Like I said, when I swapped to controller, I only used wingman. That was literally the only gun I was good at, like for like the longest time, because it was the only gun I played, because I just wanted to be so good at wingman. So I picked up wingman constantly. Like if I didn't have a wingman, I was terrible. Like for a while there, and then and then I got better, of course, because I started playing the game a lot more and just trying other stuff. But yeah, no, I would pick a wingman every single game if I could. But now that I'm on linear, I'm just Nemesis R9. And that's it.
I was more like you, to be honest, Rex. I couldn't shoot my G7 when I switched to linear. I thought I was terrible. Like I couldn't do any like single shot guns, like including the wingman too. So like I was pretty rough with it as well. But dude, I felt like a raid boss, as you mentioned. Like I felt like a raid boss up close with a car or an R9. It's like I can't miss.
Well, I wasn't even planning on swapping to linear. I was just kind of in the firing range, just like messing around, right? And then I joined a control. I was like, let me try 4-3 linear, like small dead zone, and just try it. I played one like control match. I was like, oh my gosh, my R9 feels like I'm just one clipping everyone. Like, what is going on? And then the next game I swapped at classic and I literally couldn't aim anymore. I was like, what the heck? I can't shoot at anyone. Like I literally could not shoot anyone. I was like, bro, what is going on? Like I was actually like kind of concerned, because I was like, bro, am I just bad now? Like what's going on? I tried classic and like I just felt like I felt so slow. I was like, bro, I do not like this. And so I swapped to linear like the next game after that. And I was like, okay, this is more like I enjoyed this again. And like I just played linear like the day before the finals. I played on linear for 8 hours straight just to try to get better with it.
Dude, yeah, you're spot on how I felt too. I tried to go back to classic and I was like, am I in molasses right now, bro? I'm going
it's
so
terrible.
slow.
I don't know what I've never changed my sense ever. Maybe that's why, like, because I'm the type of player that if I like a sense, I'm never changing, right? So like I don't know what it was, but the next game I played on classic, I literally my R9 sprays were 12. I was like, what the heck? I can't aim at anyone. I just felt so slow.
Okay, I want to ask you about one particular. Well, we'll get into it too. I want to talk about the SSG whole like that kind of dynasty squad, I would say. But I want to talk about specifically with the NRG squad, because that was kind of a hodgepodge at the beginning, right? You were kind of thrown in, and then I would call you like the pre-tech, like what tech now is doing with the meat
Mhm.
gang. Like
Mhm.
you were that with Nathan and
Rocker.
Rocker. So I would love to talk about the beginning of you joining NRG and that kind of saying goodbye to some legends, to be honest, and then
Mhm.
or at least legends to me whenever I was at the beginning, right? You know, with like kind of taking over that spot, and then I would love for you to talk about the Rocker and what can I think of his name? Oh my gosh,
Nate.
Nathan. Yeah, Nate situation.
Okay. So I guess, I mean, so you talking about when I joined NRG with Moore and Ace?
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
okay, yeah.
And like
So
Dizzy, because Dizzy had retired, right? Like
yeah,
you were
yeah,
taking the
yeah,
place.
yeah. Okay, so I was playing with, I'm pretty sure I was playing with Nate and Rocker, and I don't
You
know
were
how.
like old men or
I
something. You
don't.
were like,
No. We were Frexs in the youngins. That's what we were
oh, the
called.
youngins. That's it. Yeah,
The
yeah,
Frexs
yeah,
and the
yeah.
youngins, because back then I was just hard IGLing. I was just like, I was so locked in every tournament, because back then the tournaments were so sweaty, and like I wanted to prove to people that I was I was a good IGL, and so I was so locked in, and like I knew I was I like I said, I played Watson during then too, and like I loved playing Watson. Like I said, I'm a support player, so I just knew like if I could just tell these two young people just to go crazy, and I'd just watch our back, we would just go crazy, right? So like we were going insane, and then I think we were the only unsigned team in like the top 5 during this GLO tournament. We were just a brand new team. We played for a week before, for this tournament, and everybody like realized like how good of an IGL I was, right? Like during that time. So then Moore and Ace picked me up, and I never really played with them at all, right? And I think we played in like one tournament together, and it went all right. It wasn't like the best, right? I don't think we qualified for like the Texas LAN or whatever, and then that's when Ace was like, yeah, I don't really want to play anymore, So then it was me, Moore, and Nate, I think. That's who we picked up. And, I IGL'd for a while. We played, I mean, I feel like every team I've always been on, we haven't been at the top, but I've never been at the bottom either. I've always been like a top 5 team, maybe, top 4 for every single team that I've ever been on. And so it's just, I've always been above average, So it's just like, I don't know. It sucks that I can't win anything, but it's also like it feels good being at the top still, And so so we were playing tournaments. This is such a long time ago. I don't even remember what happened, but I think more like quit, and then we picked up Rocker. So it was like Frexs and the youngins again, and then the first tournament we ever played together, I think it was some ALGS, and we won our first tournament ever, And then after that, we were still a top 5 teams, still, and then towards the end, like I was like, man, I don't know, like I could tell they were like, like they weren't talking to me as much, and like we never played as a team ever, and I was like, yeah, something's probably gonna happen, one of us is getting dropped or something, and then the management told me that I got dropped and they were gonna pick up Sweet. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because they need more. Those type of players need more micro than what I'm allowed, than what I can give, So I was like, yeah, that makes total sense, right? And then then and then right after that, just I was a free agent again. Got Zanile messaged me, because I never played with Zanile either, or Claire. They messaged me and said, hey, you want to make a team? I said, sure, I'll IGL you guys, And then again, we were a top 5 team. We got 4th in champs, I think. And yeah, I mean, then we got signed. So it's like every team I IGL, we're top 5, and we just get signed somehow. I don't know how.
You said Claire, like Clarify?
Yeah, Claire. It was me, Zanile,
Man,
and Claire.
I haven't thought about that guy in a while too. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. So that's
how did you get on? Yeah. Sorry.
Oh no, since that's basically how it was. That was what happened with everything. Like we were a top 5 team, but they realized they needed more of a micro IGL, which I'm not a micro IGL. I'm a macro IGL, right. And yeah, I mean that's basically it.
So how did the SSG squad didn't Clarify retire and then dropped was just kind of there, or like how did the whole you getting dropped as a third happen, if you can remember that?
Yeah, so after champs, I think Zen wanted to try out drops because he wanted a just straight up Gibby player, and Claire wasn't really like a Gibby player. And like so like we just message dropped, or he message dropped, and said, "Hey, you want to try out or whatever." And then you know how it is, like if your team doesn't want you, you don't want to play anymore. So Claire just straight up left. He was like, "Yeah, if you guys don't want to play with me, just whatever. If you already want to try someone else out, we might as well just leave. And then so
Mhm.
we kind of had to stick with dropped at that point.
Well, y'all had a pretty dang dominant run. Can you give maybe some highlights of playing on the SSG team, and then maybe how it ended? I know that, dude, there was like a Dexerto article that like what they put out for y'all, I think too, right?
Oh, I don't even know, but so for SSG, I mean, whenever we got dropped, we became better because drops is way more vocal. He talks a lot, and we were kind of a new team again. I was hard IGLing, dropped was like, we were doing really well. We won the very first pro league week, and we were so hyped, and we were like just straight, we were winning everything during like our first, kind of like the honeymoon phase, how it is for every team, whenever you join a new team, you just feel invincible, new mental, you just want to win again, stuff like that. And then Storm Point came out and we got Launchpad, right? And we were being contested by C9 for like a year straight. We were being contested for C9, so we were have to play Edge every single game. And I am not an Edge IGL. I am so bad at IGLing on Edge. It's bad, right? So that's when I started struggling a lot, and that's when Dropped stepped up as an IGL. And of course, the meta changed, so we were on Seer, and just a bunch of stuff happened, right? So like what we would do is I would hard IGL on World's Edge because I'm a zone player, and I would just get us into good spots, and we basically qualified for LAN off of World's Edge because my World's Edge points were insane compared to our Storm Point. And our Storm Point, we were just kind of playing Edge, just kind of getting, a few points here and there, not too great. And I mean, yeah, that's basically like what happened with how Drop joined our team and everything.
Do you want to get into a little bit of what went down with that team disbanding, and then because clearly it ended up working out fairly well?
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
I mean, you're all signed to Tier 1 orgs.
Yeah.
Still, which is you absolutely love to see because it shows that you guys clearly all have the talent to be competing at this level.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that you asked me that question. My bad. So I did before, like, so once we qualified for LAN, Dropped messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm, whatever, this team wants me, right?" I was like, "Okay, that's fine," because we were already kind of having issues a little bit, just personality issues. Nothing too big, but so I was like, okay, that kind of like bummed me out, because it's like I needed dropped for Storm Point because I'm so bad at Storm Point. It's embarrassing. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So then like the entire time leading up to LAN, we never even played with dropped like once, basically, because we were just me and Zen were just trialing people during scrims, right? So it's like, so we were just trying to see like what we could find, right? And we tried a bunch of people out, and I was like, man, I don't like any of these options. Like I don't know what, like I don't like this at all. Like I could just tell, like, in my in my mind and my heart, and I was like, man, I don't like any of this. Like I might just go solo and see if I can get an offer somehow, just like from anyone, because right now, like, this is not working for me. I don't like this. I don't want to start over, like with like trying to like learn how to play with someone else. I was like, okay, this is just not for me. So yeah, like we all knew we were all splitting up before the LAN, right? That's why, like, I think on Twitter, like, I think SSG like typed, like, we made it like a meme called The Last Dance for SSG.
Last Dance.
The hashtag The Last Dance. So like during LAN, when we would just be like, all right guys, hashtag The Last Dance, let's go. Like, because we all knew we were all splitting up anyway, right? Like we all knew like this was our last tournament together and everything. So yeah, I mean, none of us hate each other or anything like that. Like, we're all good friends. We just couldn't team together. That's all. And yeah, and that's how it went basically. And we would have done really well in this tournament if I didn't get sick. So
Oh, that's something that we're gonna have to get
because
into.
I was playing with 104 fever and I had an ice pack on my head and I was literally dying on stage.
How did like you had the fever? How did they let you like play? Like,
Well,
did they
because
just,
because I was playing and when I woke up the second day, I was feeling so terrible. I was like, man, I do not like that. Like I was like, dude, I can't even like. They're like, are you alright? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then like I think it was because we were in winners, right? Because like even though like we knew this was the last tournament, we were still playing really well, and like we were still a good team. Like even now, we'd still be a good team, you know. Because like I said, we've always been like a top 5 team on every team I've ever played on. So it's like we were playing, and I was just. I remember this one game. We were sitting in Gale Station, and we were just sitting in the building because we rotated fast because it was a Gale Station ending. And I remember like just leaning back so far in my chair, just closing my eyes and said, I just calmed, tell me if someone's pushing me. I'm leaning back right now. Like I literally couldn't even open my eyes. And it was pretty bad. And then I think we got 11th.
Can you imagine, bro?
No, I was standing on a door. I was standing on a door, blocking. I was blocking the door, closed my eyes, leaning back, and I said, guys, if someone pushes me, let me know, because I couldn't lean up because I was feeling so sick. And like we got pushed, and like I used all my energy because like whenever I play, I lean forward. So like whenever I used all my energy to lean forward, we won the team fight, and I leaned right back. I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I just leaned right back, And I think we got like 12th or 11th. We missed like the finals by 1 point. And I was like, guys, I'm feeling so sick right now. I don't know if I can play this losers bracket. So I went to the medic, and they were like, and they like tested me and everything. They gave me some medicine. And they said, yeah, you have 104 fever right now. And I was like, okay. They're like, if it was like 1 point higher, they would have sent me to the hospital. And so they gave me some medicine, and like they were like, do you want to play? I was like, I have to play. Like we don't have a sub or anything. I literally have to play. Like, so they just gave me, the medic guys followed me up back there. They gave me some drinks and like a banana or to eat something. And then they put in, and I was like, can I get an ice pack? Cause like I was literally overheating. I was just getting destroyed in that booth. And I think I played like the best Apex I've ever played. I'm pretty sure, and then in the losers bracket, I'm pretty sure I dropped like a 4K, like 8 kill game or something. Like it was insane. I was playing insane during the losers bracket because they gave me some medicine and it just completely revived me.
Dude, you had a legendary picture. I remember.
Yeah,
like,
the ice pack, bro.
Like
dude,
it pans to you, and it's just you with the ice pack on.
I will say that ice pack was so hot, it wasn't even cooling me off. I was literally overheating. It was insane.
I gotta say that is one of the funniest stories. But that's an awesome story to tell, though. Like I'm really glad that you got to say that.
Yeah, and then the next day, which is finals, I tested positive for COVID, so I couldn't play like on the main stage, so I had to play in like the back, whatever. And I was feeling really bad. I'm not gonna lie. And so I didn't play the best. Like I think we got like 15th or like 14th or something. Like not great, but I felt bad because I wanted our last tournament to be really good, and it just sucks that I got sick because like it was night and day difference. During the winners bracket, I was so sick I could barely calm, and then I got some medicine and started feeling like really well. Like, and then like we played like the best Apex we've ever played. I was like, because I'm such a vocal person, and like I was IGLing, and it's like on LAN, if you don't have your IGL, it's not vocal. It's like it's such a hard thing to do, to try to cover as that role, It's so hard.
If Wyatt was here right now, there's one question. I did call him and I asked him like, hey, what questions would you like me to ask? And he's like, I have one question only. He is a large Phony Head fan. We've had Phony on the show and very much loves Phony. And so he would want to ask, and then I'll add on with like having Snipe down as your teammate. But what can you say about both of your teammates and like the dynamic of your squad from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, Phony's IGLing, so this is like the first team that I haven't been like the main IGL. You know, I'm just kind of like stepping back and just playing. Just like co-IGL because I still talk a lot and I'm still calming like so much. Like me and Phony bounce off thing. Like me and Phony we have the same ideas, but he's just like kind of like the final say, and like on what we do. Because whenever we're playing, I don't know if we have like any team comms or anything, but whenever we're playing, I'm always saying that we could do this, we could do that. Like I'm giving a bunch of options, stuff like that, and it helps him a lot. And that's like I think that's one of the main reasons why he wanted to like pick me up as their third is because I'm very vocal. I understand the game. I know how to like macro call and everything. So it's not like he doesn't have to micro me, which is like his biggest thing. That's why he didn't want whatever like whoever they wanted as their third. He didn't want to have to micro me because like it's just too because he's a micro IGL, right? And it's just too much to micro like two people. Like always be constantly looking at both your teammates on what to do. And they wanted a support player, so of course I play support. So it's like I don't know. Me and him just bounce off together really well. And then Snipe, he doesn't do anything. He just shoots his gun. He's just the turret. That's all he does. He'll say something, and we're just like, "Shut up, Snipe. We got this. We got this, bro. Listen to us. Listen to us. We got it, bro." Like, of course, Snipe calls stuff like that. He's not quiet or anything, but like that we just mainly me and Phony usually just call everything, and Snipe is just his only thing is to shoot people and just make sure he kills everyone.
Yeah, I love that. And I do think you're the glue guy for that squad. Like because you're the one, you already said that like your support play style. Mm-hmm. And then two, you already have so much information and you've led multiple teams before, so you're able to help Phony not have everything on his shoulders, but you almost are like a co-IGL pretty much, even though he's a hard but like I mean I think in that regard Phony is able to be at his best because of what you are able to provide as like that support / co-IGL role. Like I really do. And so I think the dynamic is, and obviously Snipe's just going to shoot his gun and
I mean, that's literally all he's there for is to be the fragger role, right? Like me and Phony are just to make sure we get him in good positions because like I said, I do calm a lot, like maybe too much because I'm always talking to Phony because that's my biggest thing is when it comes to like game day and everything, I'm just calm and constantly I'm screaming like like I'm making sure I'm heard because I'm so used to IGLing. It's like I'm always asking him like Phony what are we doing here, like we got to do something here just like I'm always on his ass.
Yeah, keep asking the right questions, basically, in the right times too. So,
and I'm very assertive too. Cause like if I see Snipe doing something, like I'm like Snipe, watch our back. I'm gonna go do this, like like stuff, stuff like that. I'm just very assertive when I do things. I'm very loud.
I love that dynamic, bro. That's actually a super sick dynamic. All right, I'm down to do double tap E, and then if you have any more questions,
sounds good.
All right, so we're going to do double tap, which is a segment where I give you a statement and then you respond with like one word, or people have been going 2 words or more, but usually try to stick around 1 word based off of just like your first initial reaction. Okay.
All
right. Number 1, M&K or roller?
Roller, I guess.
Number 2, Frexs' favorite teammate?
Oh. Let me think. I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't know. I guess I'll just say Phony.
All right, great. Good answer. Number 3, Eva 8.
Good.
Number 4, Storm Point.
Great map.
Number 5, Lifeline.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's fair. You did great. You did great on the double.
That's good. Yeah. Damn.
And then E, do you have any other questions? You just lay them all out.
I'll go with my favorite question that I like to ask everybody, because everybody we have on is performing in that top 1%. of the field that they're in, and that's clearly your case, as you're one of 7 players to make all. I mean that.
Hey
7 or 8.
man, I may
One
not
of
be
the
the
two.
flashiest, but I get there. You know, I
You
get
are
there.
yeah, you are definitely
I'm consistent.
well solidified into the top 0.0001% of Apex Legend players, no doubt.
May not be
have
the
to be.
flashiest, you know.
And so, what would you say is one thing you've learned in the journey to get to where you're at that somebody could take and apply to any endeavor that they were trying to get into the top 1% in?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think you just gotta have passion. Like, if you have passion on what you want to do, if you want to be the best, you know, you'll get there. You know, it takes time for sure, but you just gotta keep. You just can't give up. You know, like me. I mean, I've had ups and downs, of course, but whenever you find passion and you just keep grinding, it'll eventually happen. You know.
For sure. Nice.
Like I said, I'm old. You know, all these young people keep coming in, but I'm still there. I'm still making LAN. You know, it's like people think that once you get older, you're just you're terrible and everything. But I mean, I don't know. It just if you just stay consistent and just keep playing the game that you play, you'll always be there. You know.
Okay, so one thing, so getting into that, we're talking about age a little bit. So I'm 25.
Yeah.
Always been on controller since I was like literally like back on the PS2 as long as I can remember. Roller gamer, and part of me is thinking about switching to M&K for the challenge of it becoming like one of the best mechanical M&K players.
I will say.
Do you think that being 25 that's gonna get in my way at all, or do you think that it's just all about like whether or not I'm willing to like put in the time to like get to that level?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think if you just put in the time and you're like you said, if you want to do it, you can do it, man. I mean, I played, I guess I forgot to mention this earlier when I swapped to controller. Is like I've always been an Xbox player. I played Gears of War, Halo, stuff like that when I was younger, and then when I swapped to controller, I played on a PlayStation controller, so it was kind of completely different, right? And I was like, I'd never really played on a PlayStation controller, so I don't know, for me, whenever I find something new and exciting, I put 110% into it, and I just loved. Like I said, I went to the hospital because I was having so much fun playing a game, like playing Apex, and I didn't even like Apex at the time. I was bored of it, It's like when you find something new and like it's just something like whenever you're learning something new, the passion for me just rises so high. So I mean, honestly, if you just take your time and just actually put 110% in it, you can do it.
Good looks. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, Frexs, we have very much enjoyed having you on the podcast. It's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least from my perspective. I'm really glad to have you on. And I'm very glad to you get to continue the streak and make it to LAN for every single LAN, and I hope that continues on.
I'm hoping.
I would love for you to come back on, and hopefully, but the next time that you come on, you can say that you were a LAN champion.
Yeah, me too. I hope I don't get second the last game. I might cry again.
Well, we are very excited to see what you guys end up doing as the Faze clan. So, I'm sorry if my dog, you heard any of that.
He's barking. He's barking.
Oh, dude, Georgia is not happy right now. Yeah, she's trying to say bye to you. But if you have any, do you have any final words? You have any final words? I don't think Wyatt ever does this, but I'm gonna remix it a little bit. Do you have any final words?
I mean, just thanks for supporting us or supporting me. It's been a long time. I've been on different teams and everything. For like all the people who still watch my stream, even though I don't stream as much as I should. But thanks for always supporting me and believing in me and stuff. And yeah, well, appreciate it. Hopefully, I do good at LAN and make you guys proud.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it, brother. Well, thank you once again for coming on, and I hope you have a good night.
All right, thank you.
And that was Faze Frexs. I'm very glad to have him on. That was actually a pretty solid interview, thinking back on it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I am too. I'm glad that we got a lot into his history because, once again, he is one of the few people that have played this game since the beginning. Like for so long. He's played this game and been a household name for a while. Like he was saying, like he may not win every single tournament, but he doesn't ever like lose like badly in any of his tournaments or anything that he's in. He's a pretty consistent player, and I think that goes along with like his support role. But yeah, it was a great interview. I'm very much rooting for this Faze team to do well, and it was a long time coming, like I said, to have him on, and wish him nothing but the best. I do want him to see I do want to see somebody win the next LAN, like this upcoming LAN, or even champs that is not TSM or DZ. Maybe I'm a hater, but like I just want to see new people up at the top. I don't know. That's just me, and I hope that they're one of them. Okay, transitioning out of that, we are going to hit maybe one or two more questions before we hit the heart to heart, and then send you on your merry way the rest of your week. I found one that I liked. It was off of Reddit. It is by Tasty's Beats, and I thought this was an interesting question. As opposed to a traditional legend/gun tier list, maybe try something against the grain and do a pure 1v1 legend list. Could be interesting to debate. Is it harder to bubble fight around a grapple, Horizon Q? Which characters are the best at the 1v1 is not identical to the overall legend list? Could be interesting.
I mean, I'm just saying Mirage number one.
Mirage
is the number one 1v1 legend.
Is it?
You pop the ult, you get a free first shot.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I mean, in all scenarios, though, like
I would say more often than not, if I'm in a 1v1, I'd rather Mirage. Like, I mean, you Mirage all, and then the person legitimately, for the most part, like if you're behind cover at all, they don't know which one's you at the start, and they're just guessing, and you just get free first peek advantage. Like you get free, like you get free first shot.
Yeah. That's a good point. E. I think he would be an S tier for sure if we're talking just strictly 1v1.
Strictly like 1v1 scenario, like that's the only thing that matters is you beating another guy. I'm taking more, and you got a good hitbox too.
I think if you're on MNK, I think Octane would be up there because if he can stem and then like just tap strafe around, it's mad annoying, right? So
I would say Gibby more so would be my number one MNK pick.
Yeah.
If you're playing Gibby and you got a PK and a bubble and a gun shield, hello. Like that might be Gibby probably is the S tier pick for the 1v1 high key.
Even on roller too. Like it's not.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely because like I could see the Mirage winning the fight if the Mirage is better, but I think it's easy. Like it's hard to lose a fight if you've got Gibby, fortified advantage, gun shield, and a bubble to play.
Yeah, 275 health. Yeah.
Gibby's definitely up there for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say Caustic maybe, but it really depends on. That's more environment based than anything else.
If the ult hits, you just win. It's like an instant win.
Yeah, it is because they're stunned and they can't see. So those two things are pretty bad whenever you're fighting, if you're stunned and all that. Horizon's fine. I don't really know if I would put Horizon's like the best 1v1 legend though. Like I think it's a strong pick. I think and I would say Seer maybe. Seer's better than Bloodhound, I think, in a 1v1 scenario, because if you hit your tactical as Seer, then you can actually just see them even if they're playing behind a gun shield, behind a building, or a knockdown shield, or anything. I think that would be solid pick too. I wouldn't want to do. I mean, maybe no. I was gonna say Rampart, but even then, am I faded? I'm trying to think. Is there any legend that we're just not thinking of that is just a very obvious pick? In a 1v1 scenario, is your teammates alive? Because then Lifeline becomes like an option, right? Newcastle, if you can res your teammates. But if we're talking
Newcastle, if you have Newcastle with two people to potentially scoop, there's no better pick than Newcastle.
Right.
But like that, it just depends. But like that's not a 1v1.
Right. Exactly.
That is a one. That's a one with two knocked guys versus one with two knocked guys.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If we're talking strictly pure 1v1, there's two rats going at each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Lifeline's hitbox is insane if you're running a wingman or an R9. Like the strafe speed is insane. But that's what I went back to my old Octane pick. Like I think Octane is really strong in that regard. I wouldn't say. Well, okay. Do you have a Digi? Because then Bang's a really good pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you have a Digi, Bangalore could be the best pick. Like, there's just so many factors that go into it. Because yeah, if you're a Bangalore with a Digi and you're fighting somebody without a Digi, it's just you won the fight. Like, see, congratulations.
And this is why Apex is so freaking sick, because think about all the different scenarios in which one legend is so strong.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, we really do play like a great game. Like, it is a great game. And I think this like question highlights like how certain legends are so much better just given the certain situation that you find yourself in. I just don't think you see that nearly as much across other games, especially in something like Warzone, where you just there's not even, you know, it's just not even a thing that gets factored in.
Man, that's a great question though. That one could be argued for quite a bit, but yeah, I think there's just so many different scenarios where certain legends are like, oh yeah, definitely best pick for this scenario. Anyway, great question. Tasties beats. Oh, okay. All right. We'll do this one for sure. Shout out to our boy Progents, Connor, our editor for YouTube and part of the Apex Legends the Pod. The Pod crew. He came with a great question. What pro would win a hot dog eating contest and why? Need a clear thesis and a works cited page. This is on Twitter. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to choose Monsoon. And the reason why he has been known as his alter ego is the hot dog man. And that's got to be for one reason and one reason only. He would win the Nathan's hot dogs eating contest. He could be Joey Chestnut. We don't actually know. We haven't seen Joey Chestnut and Monsoon in the same room ever. So that would be my pick on who would win a hot dog eating contest. I feel like he is efficient. He knows about the whole strategy. He knows meta, as in you dunk the bun in the water and it becomes easier to swallow, and then he's the hot dog man for a reason. He's scarfing down that glizzy. What about you, E? Do you have a pick?
Okay. I saw this man Duplex, NATO beers from LAN. And with the skill and the talent that guy has in consuming beverages, I have to imagine that skill and talent makes a seamless transition from beer to hot dogs. And so I'm going to have to put my man Duplex. Simply based upon the absolute just dominant performance he had in the NATOs. And for those who don't know, that's when you like basically get a tornado-esque effect while drinking a beer and you just straight tank it. And from the eyewitness accounts that I had at the event from other people, because I wasn't there, but I've heard multiple eyewitness accounts that Dupe, he is a man who can put down himself some NATOs.
I think that's a really good correlation. I think Duplex is up there with, he wasn't my number one pick, obviously, hot dog man. Monsoon was, but Duplex was probably my top 5. So I think that's a respectable pick. I really would love to know what Wyatt's thoughts are. I wish he was here very badly. I for some reason feel like he would just say naughty. Like he would just say it. You just say, yeah, it's naughty, and then just go about it and explain that it's just passion.
Yeah, I think he would just say not. He would just size up what he had to do and he'd just attack it. And he would let his sheer will to not lose
Okay, this
carry him. Oh, I got a question.
yeah, okay.
This is
All
from
right.
Anon. And does Enoch still think the Prowler is better than the R99? And so I think this is a good question. I'll put it this way. For me, it really just depends on what your other gun is. I think that if you are playing a sniper, I think like if you're playing charge rifle or sentinel, in my opinion, I think the Prowler's better because you're able to get more damage out in the mag and you have a significantly higher chance to one clip than you do just simply off of sheer damage numbers. I think the Prowler is the better spot if you're using a charge rifle. When it comes down to like almost every other situation, like if you're ripping a wingman, if you're ripping an AR as your secondary, if you're ripping like a shotgun, I think the 9 is the better play. I think the 9, it just kills faster. It just, if you don't miss, like you don't lose. And I went from somebody who was an R9 hater to when I hop into the range to warm up, I grab 2 R9s with gold mags and I just start shooting. And so I will say I was very much wrong all the way back when. And I do think that the R9 is better unless you're using a charge rifle or another sniper, in which case I do think the amount of damage that the Prowler provides outweighs the better DPS that you get with the 9. Because if you get your corner swung and you're using a 9 and you miss it like a little bit, right? You're not getting the one clip.
Right.
And so when you're pulling that hip fire out with your sentinel or your longbow or your charge rifle, it's just an utter liability. But like you don't have to do that too often when you got a Prowler, because like if you're not one clipping a guy when he swings on you with a Prowler, like especially if you got a 35 round Prowler, we gotta hit the range, we gotta hit the COD zombies, we gotta hit the Kovacs, the aim labs, we gotta figure it out.
So this is a long-winded answer to say it all depends on what your primary is.
100p.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people running like late game and comp. I've been seeing a lot of people run 99, where they're. I mean, it's just
it is late game comp. 99 is 100% the play. I think everybody should be doing it. I mean, dude, literally, you could argue that an entire tournament day for E8 goes completely different if that boy Rambo isn't, because like it was first game, great spot, everything's going good. First like real meaty fight we get into, we lose because Rambo gets naded into zone. Yep. So he has 100 HP sitting in like round 5 zone, and he has 2 R9s, one clip dies to zone.
Yep.
And so instead of us potentially winning that first game, simply because of the fact that only because he's on 99. If he is on SMG AR, I don't think he clutches it the way he does. But 99 is just silly, especially late game and on controller. It's nuts. Okay.
Last question that I think we'll hit, and before we get to heart, and this is coming from O's Craving on Twitter, Marshall Quinn. The best drop spots for KC ranked if you don't want to 50-50. I read this as the best 50-50 spots, but we could hit both. Since KC is back in the mix, first off, I'm glad to see it back in the mix. I don't know about UE. I like KC ranked. Do you like KC ranked?
It's not as bad as I remember.
I think
that's my experience so far. I'm messing with it.
Okay, if you had to rank the 3,
I don't dread it as much as I thought I would.
If you're ranking the 3 maps right now, what you got? You got World's Edge, Olympus, and KC. Which ones are you? What like rank those right now? Like for this season
World's Edge, Stormpoint, KC
for ranked? Yeah.
for ranked. Gosh.
No, it's not Stormpoint.
No, it's not Stormpoint. It's World's Edge, Olympus.
Olympus.
KC.
Yeah.
For ranked, man. I'm gonna have to go World's Edge. Number 1. Olympus, KC.
Wow. Okay, so I'm actually
You're
gonna
swapping
get
Olympus and KC.
yeah. So I'm gonna go World's Edge. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go World's Edge, KC, Olympus. I think Olympus is just, dude, the POIs are on top of each other, and so it is. I think the addition of the redeploys has also made it pretty apey, I guess would be the word. So I don't really feel like I gained a ton on Olympus whenever I was playing ranked, but you just have to let the big fight. There's always one massive fight that happens in ranked, like during mid game. You just let that one happen, and then you find like late game KP as long as your shields are good enough on Olympus. So you can still gain on Olympus. It's just I don't really feel as comfortable on it comparatively to the other two, but I think Casey's growing on me, and it might be a nostalgia thing, but
yeah, and it also, it's like people have barely played on KC, and so typically the problem with KC is that people will find the way to like cheese it as much as possible, and then just make it like miserable. And I feel like it's more difficult for everybody to find really what is that super cheesy, not fun at all way to gain like crazy because of the current state. So I think that the fact that KC is only in a rotation makes it way more playable than if it's KC all day, every day.
yeah, I think that's a good, that's a great, I'd agree with that. That's a good assessment. Okay, I guess to answer we didn't even go over it. What is like the best 50-50 spots on KC?
Best spots to 50-50?
Like where, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I feel good going on this 50-50. I think I have a few.
I mean, it always just depends on if you're the team that wins the first land or not. I think on a lot of spots.
Okay, say you do win first drop, like
crash site.
Yeah, that's what. Okay,
that's
one of the best ones at 50-50.
If you get mid on crash site, you win, unless you're bad.
Correct. I was gonna say, caustic treatment is one of those that I enjoy 50-50ing on, because it's large enough and it's like playable enough to kind of maneuver, or it makes for a really good team fight 3v3s if you can finagle yourself into good positioning on caustic treatment. You know what I don't understand? The people that 50-50 at map room, and then there's a team going repulsor. Can you explain that to me?
You're both too confident to swap off.
Yeah, that's just like two massive egos.
No, it's just an ego fest. No, because like it's actually like one of like the more miserable things that you can do. Like especially like when RP mattered, and like an actual like minus, like when you could hit like a minus like a couple minus RPs where that would actually like hurt, bro. Nothing was worse than the instant 3Ps right off the rip, because like it's just there's just nobody wins.
Your repulsor is feasting, bro. Literally feasting, preying on the downfall of the two people that ego chilled so hard at map room. They both got P2020s and still fighting, and then repulsor comes in and just like gobbles up the easiest RP or KP of their life. Yeah, I would say that. I was going to say Octane. I don't mind 50-50ing out Octane. I think that place is pretty tight to 50-50.
Yeah, especially if it's a purple armor and that at the start and you get that nice drop.
Yeah. I'm at like I'm down. Also, I'll give some people out some free advice. I don't know if they even want it. But you know what? I'm giving it out. And so therefore, if you don't want it, it was free. So, you can't complain about it. I think if you're wanting to gain on KC and you find yourself getting 3P'd or you're just wanting to play a heavy zone, people need to be landing at Westworld / high low is what I used to call it, and like bunker, and like splitting those two like POIs through like mid river and bunker, and then high low, and then just go play zone. If that's how you gain, truly, if that's what you're wanting to do. But hey, that's just me. So that's not really a 50-50. Ooh, one of the worst places to 50-50. You ready? Containment.
Container.
Containment. Okay, is that what you call it?
That's what I like calling it. Container.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just if you don't land at that top building, it's just a stalemate. Like the bottom team always loses. And then also what capacitor? That
Rig
always
is
gets thirded by Wraith.
Rig. I actually like rigs. 50. I actually
Do you?
really. I'm fair. I always feel regard. All right, because you either take mid.
Yeah,
Or a
top
lot
mid.
of the times I'll give up mid and that back house to take like that building on the top side.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I'll just grab like one gun out of the pill or open the door, grab a gun, and somebody will be either like looting or they'll be trying to hit the pills, and you can get like a pick off mid really easy, especially from the height. But then it's also I feel like it's fairly easy to play on the other side.
If
Like,
you
I
have
feel
a
like that one,
horizon, you just like
I feel like it's a pretty 50.
yeah. If
Okay,
you
I
like,
think that's a good 50.
Yeah. You can correlate if you can coordinate a good like 3-man queue off of Horizon queue. If you're running that, like it, man, you're right. I actually agree. There's some good 50-50s in that. Is anybody ever going like what relay? Is that what it was called? I mean, no one's going there, right? Swamps is. I've never really 50-50 at Swamps. I don't think. And then Hydro Dam might be the most forgotten about POI ever. People don't land there. People never. No one lands at either bunker or Hydro Dam, and I don't understand why. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the KC. Yeah, that seems like that was a good amount of questions, or at least we rambled on about a few of them. But yeah, let's go into the last segment, which is the heart to heart.
The heart to heart, let's crank. I think I'd like to say, as far as like a duo sode, I think we did pretty good. I think we handled it pretty well.
Are we patting ourselves on the back already?
I think we should give ourselves a little pat on the back. Like heading into the heart to heart, I think we should give ourselves a little pat on the back of like, we made it, like we got through the episode glueless.
Yeah, we I will say it is probably much less structured than whenever we have Wyatt, where Wyatt's usually on top of it. Make sure that we're not just rambling on, and usually does a very good job of like, okay, now we're gonna go to this, and then anyway, I'm gonna give us a pat on the back as well because we have been glueless, but we are holding on by some scotch tape for sure. Okay, we're gonna head to the heart to heart. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, heart to heart time, as he always says. Who would like to go first?
Finn, you got that. I believe in you.
I will go first. So yeah, my heart to heart is going to be very similar to what Enoch's usually always sound like. Not always, but very similarly, which is something to do with your words or your actions. And for me, I am trying to work on my words are a powerful thing. So I am trying to do my best to like say positive things, speak it into existence. So, say you want a promotion, you're going to say like, I'm going to work hard to get this promotion. Like saying things out loud to manifest those things are very important. And that is something that I have been working on this week and what I'm going to continue to keep working on, but just saying it out loud and believing in it, then you just keep saying it to yourself and it'll manifest itself. As long as those are as long as you're also putting in place healthy habits as well, with your actions, not just saying it. So those two things kind of go hand in hand, and that is something that I'm working on. E, what is your heart to heart?
My heart to heart, dude. I mean, things are going well. I'm working each and every day on trying to become more and more and more and more in control of myself, and so that I can master myself to the point where I no longer instinctually do things that I don't want to, that I've now realized that I don't want to do. And it's like I always, and something that I think is important. A lot of people use that, and it's always like the saying, like, you changed. Like, a lot of people like, oh, like, you changed, like, you switched up. But like, I understand in a lot of times, like, if you change in the wrong, like, you can obviously change in the wrong ways. Like, that's like something that we're going to be doing our best to avoid. But I feel like you got to be changing as like a person. Like, the whole point is to like grow and change and expand as who you are as a person. And that's something that I always want to constantly be doing. And so I was just like thinking about like the idea of change. Like, if someone were to say like, oh, like you never changed, like you always like you always say this, like, I would almost view that as an insult. Like, because like I'm always trying to become better, and if I'm not changing, I'm not becoming better. And so I'm focusing a lot on changing. I'm focusing a lot on becoming better, and just really just showing up each and every day and putting in that work to get there. Not because I think a big part of success and achieving it is believing that you're like legitimately and truly believing that you're worthy of having it. And when you show up each and every day, you're doing the things that convince yourself that you do, and that you like, and that it's all like because you're doing the things you're doing that you're going to get where you're going to get. And so I'm just going to keep on showing up. It's building season, and I like building. And so yeah, that's my heart to heart. Always be changing, always be growing. Like, hopefully for the best, and yeah, figure out what you want to go do and then go build it.
Yeah, I love that, bro. That's good. I don't. You're right. Like, you do want to. You always are trying to be a better version of yourself, right? So you always want to be changing in the right way, right?
In the right ways, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
talking like once you get a little bit of juice, you forget who you were drinking water with.
Yeah,
Shout out
exactly.
whoever that was in Nox chat, because like I think that's my favorite. That's my favorite saying. Like that's obviously not the vibe, but like from like a personal growth thing, like I just want to be better. And one thing that I want to work on is I want to cut out the word alike from my vocabulary, in the sense of people just say it as a filler.
It is a filler
even
word.
right then, I was about to say like a filler. I was about to say it. But I just feel like it makes everything, it just sounds so worse. It just sounds so much worse. And so
well, right,
that's another part of my heart to heart is I'm also cutting down on the amount of times I say like, and I'm also eliminating the word try. Like saying like I'm going to try to do something. I'm trying to cut that out, because it's like inherently giving yourself permission to fail before you even do it.
The word like, so as a communication degree, yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say. As somebody who has a communication degree, filler words are usually when we are not, like right there, I said, So filler words are to try and remove awkward pauses that happen during communication. And it's usually due to people not being prepared, or it's more spontaneous, and some people are much better at communicating than others and can communicate their words properly or their thoughts quicker and more efficiently, that they don't have to use filler words. So that is something that takes time. But as podcasters, we do probably have to get better at not using filler words. Though that's a lot easier said than done because it's in our everyday vocabulary.
Well,
You have to cut it out in your normal vocabulary.
We're gonna be those guys. We're gonna change.
Start
Let's do
working on it. There it is. All right.
All right. But ladies and gentlemen, this will wrap it up for this episode of the Apex and Apex Legends podcast, brought to you by Finicky and Enoch, the duo that could. And if you guys like, this should really make you guys appreciate Wyatt, because I absolutely I absolutely love doing this pod with Fen, like this one tonight. Like, I thought it was a cool experience, but I would not want to be doing this the whole time. Like that boy Wyatt, he is our glue. He is that guy. And let him know some way, reach out to him, let him know that you missed him and that you care for him and that you hope everything works out with his car and that you appreciate him, because we appreciate him. We know you appreciate him. So let's tell the man that we appreciate him. Let's have some Wyatt love going on up in here. And yeah, I don't know how else Wyatt concludes these, but
he usually says like, go follow the socials if you want to.
Go follow the socials if you want to. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Don't support us as much as you could. Fine. Be that guy. Or you could support, which would be cool too. For real. We appreciate all y'all.
Have a great week. Stay blessed. Deuces.